Hello and welcome to the Heretic Mansion, the Shin Megami Tensei podcast. I'm John, your host.
And I'm Chris, a special guest.
Yeah. Well, guest.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably going to be on more episodes in the future.
Yeah, hopefully.
But yeah.
Depends, you know.
Yeah, me and Chris met each other in SMT Network. I think it was 3.5 years ago.
Yep, long time.
Yeah. But anyway, it's been a while since the last episode. It's because I was preparing for my SMT panel at TaioCon, which I had a lot of fun with. I had a lot of fun at TaioCon this year, especially at the Danganronpa photo shoot I went to. But yeah, I mean, I messed up a little bit during my panel, but overall I think it turned out pretty well, and hopefully I'll get to do that panel at other cons too. And for those of you that saw the panel and are listening to this, which I don't know if any of you are, but if you are, then welcome. But yeah,
and yeah, like I said, hopefully you could advertise it. You know the Heretic Mansion podcast and everything.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I was expecting there to be more Persona at TaioCon this year because that's kind of been one of the main draws to it. Because last year they got Lotus Juice and Shihoko Hirata, and the year before that it was just Lotus Juice. But I think the year before that they had Lotus Juice and Yumi Kawamura, which those are all the Persona singers if you don't know them by name.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this year they couldn't get anybody. Like, I think they were planning to do it, but, I mean, Lotus Juice couldn't for whatever reason, so they spent a lot of their advertising, like, in the programs and stuff. They seem to be hyping up the festival a lot, which I didn't even know that was going on. Like, when I walked past it, I'm like, oh, that was the festival?
Was it good?
I mean, I didn't really do anything in it, but there was also a masquerade, which was basically a cosplay contest, but I didn't go to that either.
Those are usually boring.
Yeah.
Because, like, the top three winners are usually, actual, like, professional cosplayers, and, like, the rest of the bracket's just people who feel like, oh, I'm just going to sign up just, to have something to do for the con.
Yeah. I mean, you pretty much know who's gonna win because they spent like thousands of dollars on making armor and stuff. Yeah,
because I mean, cosplay is serious business,
I know.
Because like they actually make money off of this. Like I have a friend who, they're just recently like getting prepared to like actually legit invest in it.
Well,
so
okay, as I was saying, I mean, I like to cosplay, but I can only afford to spend so much money on them. Like the cosplays I do, I make out of clothes that I find at the thrift store. Like Byakuya,
Same.
I made it out of a suit. I made it out of a suit and like other stuff that I got at the thrift store, and the whole thing cost me about $50.
Yeah, or you could just buy like for example, a Joker costume. You could get that for like $50, but you still gotta buy like boots, a mask, gloves, toy gun.
Yeah, well, I have a Shujin uniform that I got for $60.
Yeah, that's the thing about cosplay. It's like it's fun, and conventions are really fun, but it's like you really gotta make a down payment on everything. Like, you gotta actually invest in it if you really want to, like, actually look good. And regardless, even if you look like shit, like, you don't look like the character, you're still spending, like, over $50.
Yeah.
So it's like, you gotta want to do it.
Yeah, we've got a lot of topics to cover today. The first one that we're going to talk about is going to be... it's not really a lot of news, but we got some more info on Persona 3 and 5 dancing games. I think it's Persona 3 dancing Moon Knight, and then Persona 5 dancing Star Knight. But Yeah, we got some new trailers, we got some new Famitsu scans, not anything worth really talking about, but one thing I think that's kind of cool is that there's going to be SMT and Persona 1 and 2 costumes in the dancing games. Okay. So as I was saying, it's not really one of the other reasons I waited to have this episode is because I don't really think these things are newsworthy, but I think they're at least worth talking about. And that is we're now getting some other SMT games. We're getting some costumes from other SMT games and Persona 1 and 2 in the dancing games.
Yep. Which they won't have a story mode
Yeah.
either.
It's kind of dumb. It's like,
Thank God.
Persona 4 Dancing All Night had a story mode, but I mean now with sequels,
What
we're
was that
getting
even
less
about?
content.
Like, I've never played Dancing All Night. I've only watched like a couple of videos on like Kanji and Adachi and everything, and Marie, I believe. Yeah, she was DLC, right? I don't
Pretty sure.
remember.
No,
Not worth mentioning.
Well, I mean, I haven't played Dancing All Night either, but I mean, I mean,
Like, what was the plot about? Like, it was like Risei's friend or something. She was in
Yeah.
Mayonaka TV or some.
yeah, something like that.
I don't know. I'm so glad that Dancing Moon Knight and Dancing Star Knight is not having story modes. It's like that is the best thing. They actually, it makes it tempting to buy now. It's like you're not gonna get this cringe of like more bullshit from Persona 4 being all like, oh, we have bonds. We're gonna spread our bonds and convince people who are alone in this world that it's okay to cry or whatever. Like that's what bothered me about like I loved Show Minazaki in the arena games, but that's basically what it was like. It was like we're giving you a shoulder to cry on. It's like this dude wants to kill you. And it's the same thing with Adachi. It's like this dude wants to kill you. And you're talking about bonds? Yeah, and the thing is, it kind of bothers me that Shinjiro's not announced in Dancing Moon Knight, because it's like, well, if this is not gonna have a story, why isn't he in it?
Yeah,
He might be.
the
the
protagonist is in it, we know that, so it's not going to be canon. Well,
Yeah,
it doesn't have a
so-
story. Well, I mean,
I don't know why he wasn't announced.
Well, as I was saying, like I said, I haven't played Persona 4 Dancing All Night, but I mean, from people that have played it, I've heard the story is actually pretty good. Like those
Really?
of you who are listening to us, like way back, like 2.5 years ago, when Keith was on here, he really loved the story mode for Dancing All Night, and he does not like Persona
Really?
4.
Really?
Yeah.
I kind of want to read up on it now.
You can listen to
I'm
some
legitimately curious.
Like, you can listen to some of our earlier episodes, and he'll just be there talking about how great Dancing All Night is. And remember, he doesn't like Persona 4.
That's weird.
Oh yeah, and there's one
That's
other.
very weird.
There's one more thing I want to talk about. We're on that topic. In one of the earlier episodes, I can't remember which one it was, but like, people have pointed out that there's like a girl moaning in the background, and I've listened to that. I can hear it. Like, I have absolutely no idea what that is.
Lewd.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I do not remember that being there when we recorded.
Oh man. But yeah, the thing is, like, if I had to pick like a quote unquote version, this kind of feels like Pokemon. I would probably pick Star Knight, not only because like I'm biased towards Persona 5, but like I really, really like the old for Persona 5. Like, usually like some Persona games I'm like on some songs, but Persona 5's soundtrack, amazing. and to me, that would be the better buy. But I mean, you never know. I mean, they had some cool characters on Persona 3 and some cool songs, and if anything, both have good content. Like you mentioned, the DLC of like P1, P2, Devil Survivor, what else? Strange Journey. Like, that's pretty cool. That's very, very cool DLC content.
Yeah.
And speaking of Strange Journey, what was that about? A possible dub you mentioned earlier?
We'll get to that in a second, but just the last thing I want to say about the dancing games is that, well, I'm hoping that there's a bundle like kind of like Nintendo did with Fire Emblem Fates.
Yeah.
Or like you get both versions for $60 or something. I mean, knowing Atlas, they're probably gonna put their tax on it, so it's probably gonna be more like like 80, but
80.
I'm probably just gonna wait till the price goes down and buy them used.
It's a dancing all night game. I mean,
I'm not really that big into rhythm games. The only rhythm games that I've really like played for like a substantial amount of time is Project Diva F Second on the PS3.
And then don't forget about Dance Dance Revolution.
Well, I haven't played.
That's practically dead. But I mean, you at least know about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if anything, they'll probably do like what they did for Fire Emblem. They'll be all like, you could get both games for an $80 bundle and all DLC content. But little do you know, if you buy the games separately, it'll roughly total out to like a little over $80 anyway if you like buy like the DLC. So
yeah, hopefully they don't make the DLC costumes overpriced like they did with Persona 5, where it was like $7 for the DLC costumes with the background music.
Why did they do that?
Because they're Atlas.
Yep. I mean, honestly, the DLC, to see why they're as much as they're worth, because they're actually really good and worth it. Especially the Picaro, they're actually good fusion fodder. But I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of DLC.
Yeah, I mean, 10 years ago, this
like
all would have
if
been
you could break the game and find the programming of them.
Like, this all would have been in the base game 10 years ago.
Like, that kind of just irritates me. And it's just going to keep getting worse.
I know. I mean, last year was the year of the loot boxes. Like, you remember all the controversy that happened with Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Oh my god, yes.
But yeah, I really hope
everybody says that Battlefront 2 is basically a close to $70 DLC.
Yeah, or it's basically an online
it's
casino.
Sad
because the thing is, I mean, it's bad enough that you have to pay for the stuff that's in the game, but the worst part is that you're not even paying for it. You're paying for like a 1 in 1,000 chance to get what you want, which is basically
gambling. And that's just fucking bullshit. It's like, why can't they just have, if they're gonna do that, do like the old, I say old school Mortal Kombat games, but more like, Deadly Alliance and everything like that. Do in-game currency to where, like, you're not actually spending real life money. You're just like, it's as it's intended. You spend it in the game, in-game currency, just to get a chance to get like a character or something, or a costume. But no, no, that's how greedy gaming corporations are gonna. They they just want to do anything for fucking money, and it's disgusting. It's like we already have to buy your overpriced games at this point that are incomplete. Why do this?
Well, what makes it even worse is that ESRB hasn't done anything about loot boxes. Like, a bunch of people were trying to petition them to classify games with loot boxes as gambling and give them AO ratings, but ESRB said, well, loot boxes aren't gambling because they're always guaranteed to give you something. But
That's bullshit.
The thing is, like, if say for example in Black Ops 3, if I'm rolling supply drops to try to get a weapon, I don't want some dumb gesture or like a piece of armor that I already have. Like, all I care about is the weapon. And another thing is,
yeah, and the thing is, there's actual like competitions for these games. Like, money's involved, so you don't want to be in the middle of like preparing for your character to actually like do a raid or something on. I'm just talking about any game in general, and then I gotta see what this loot box is, and then you get like a piece of shit joke weapon. It's like, what am I gonna do with this?
yeah. And on top of that, they also compared it. Well, one of the things they used to defend it was they compared it to opening a pack of trading cards. But the thing is, trading card games, if there's a card that you want, you don't have to keep opening packs until you get it. You can buy that card. I mean, it may cost you a lot of money, but it's still possible. But with loot boxes are the only way you can get what you want.
It's a shame.
I know.
And it's sickening that, most DLC is programmed in the game. Like,
I know.
It's corrupted.
Well, I really hope Atlas never does loot boxes.
They better not, because, I mean, they're already running a thin line with their fan anyway. Like, Persona 5 really saved them.
Yeah, and they've been
with Sega buying them out.
Yeah, and then they've been doing
because
the thing is they've been doing their Atlas tax for years. They started with SMT4.
Yeah.
It's where they charge $50 for 3DS and Vita games.
Yeah. It's just, they better not do that, because, like I said, they're just starting to pick up again. What with, SMT5 coming out on the Switch, that's going to be huge. Very huge. Especially with, like, the good reception that SMT4 had on the 3DS. It was roughly bigger than Nocturne's reception.
Oh, yeah.
They gave a shit until, a couple of years ago.
Exactly.
Because, featuring Dante from Devil May Cry. People were like, what? Dante was in this game?
Oh,
no.
As I was saying, a lot of people are now starting to think that, and I mean, this isn't confirmed or anything, this is just a rumor, but a lot of people think that Strange Journey Redux is getting delayed, but because of that, we're getting a dub.
And that would be nice.
Yeah, and the reason people think this is because on Nintendo's website, it used to say coming early 2018 for Strange Journey Redux, but now it just says 2018, and it also said Japanese with English subtitles. It doesn't say that anymore. So, I mean, I was pretty salty about Persona 5's delays when it got delayed to hell, but this is one of the few cases where I'm actually okay with a game being delayed.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Persona 5, they were able to, like, touch up here and there. So, I'm okay with delays as long as, like, the game comes out, and it's not just caught in development hell. Right. Which, this game, Strange Journey Redux, it's coming out. It is.
I mean, it's already out in Japan.
Yeah, but I mean, like, in, like, the West, it's definitely going to come out because it had good reception and the hype is real. So people want this game.
Yeah. I mean, I'll buy it even if it doesn't have English, even if it doesn't have an English dub, but if I had to choose between getting it early and not having a dub and getting it later but having a dub, I'd choose getting it later.
Yeah, same here because more content.
Yeah.
More content's always a good thing.
And I mean,
like even if it's the smallest amount of, it's something.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Strange Journey is the only game in the series to be made with a Western audience in mind. So
yeah,
it seems kind of crazy that for the remake it wouldn't get an English dub. It would just be Japanese audio instead.
I mean, to be fair, I believe the protagonist is like part Japanese, born in America. So yeah.
Well, in the Japanese version of the original, he's Japanese, but they made it American for the North American version. And the game wasn't released in Europe.
It wasn't?
No, it wasn't.
I didn't know that.
This is going to be released in Europe, so it'll give European fans a chance to experience it. But I mean, then again,
oh my god,
the original DS isn't region locked, so they can just play it that way.
Yeah. Oh my god, though, Strange Journey. That's a good game.
Yeah.
It's one of the best SMT games, I believe.
It's my favorite.
It's one of my favorites, at least.
It's my favorite of the main lines.
And that's what I find weird. Is it mainline or its own series?
It's a spin-off of mainline, put it that way.
And that's weird to define because, if you go back to the timeline, the metaverse timeline, it's which is a huge headache. You could easily argue, oh, well, the Raito games could be a spin-off of the main timeline, and that's what I find weird. I guess it would have to be an established, Strange Journey series if there was, an actual sequel, which this game, it's not really a direct sequel. We don't have too many details of who Alex is,
It's a remaster with some new content. Kind of like
and
Overclocked and Record Breaker.
Yeah. With a totally new character and a totally new route.
Yeah.
Which they could do so much because Strange Journey, for as much as I loved it, there was a lot to be desired, especially with the alignment choices, because it all boiled down to the whole game is basically conservation or just letting nature run wild. And the neutral ending kind of left a lot to be desired because it was ever since that era of SMT they tried to push neutral to be the quote unquote true ending.
Yeah.
And all it was it was just a not as totalitarian law route, basically. And it was basically they tried to make it they wanted to be grim like SMT2's neutral ending, but at the same time they were all who cares if we saw in the next 50 years that we're all gonna die, but who cares, we defeated Mother Nature.
That's the thing. The reason the Schwarzwelt formed was because humans were polluting the earth. And just being bad people.
Bad people, yeah, polluting and everything. And Memelev became a demon herself, so she was converting demons from her cosmic egg, or however they explained it.
Exactly, but in the neutral
hopefully they go deeper in that lore, because I found Memelev a very interesting deity, and I'm hoping this new route is they go deeper into that.
Yeah,
because there's a lot to be they could add so much. Basically, from what they revealed so far of the new route, they're gonna have a lot of Greco-Roman gods, Zeus. There you go. I was about to say Zeus is one of them, but he's the biggest example. So it's there you go. They have some kind of an obscure Persian goddess who's almost like Aphrodite, but she's more emphasized with like um, clean waters or something, and like in Persian myth, they believe that like, these gods would get very angry if you made them do more work than they had to. So basically, her being goddess of clean waters, you compare Earth to nowadays and the time period Strange Journey is set in, which I think 2072. It makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm liking the focus they're going with what these gods are and what they represent, because it doesn't just feel like apocalypse slash what was it called in Japan? Final? Yeah. It wasn't just like, oh, gods are just lining up because salvation.
Right.
That's all it was. It was like humans need to find salvation, and by that, we're just gonna, have you all become like lifeless husks, and you're just gonna give us our souls, your souls. Okay, you know. I mean, if that's cool with y'all, and I don't know, I'm hoping, this isn't wishful thinking for Redux, and that they're actually just mentioned like the gods are pissed off because do like ravage their earth and everything, and it's not a fucking repeat of Dogda, like Alex being like a female Dogda wants to kill God because it's edgy.
Well, I don't think that's what they're gonna do, but
No, but like I'm hoping that's not the twist, because they're not really showing this new route. I'm hoping it's something like really, really impressive.
yeah. I mean, because the thing
Might
is,
even connect, it might even show what SNT5 might be about,
yeah.
Hopefully.
Because the thing is, back to what you were
Want
saying
more
about,
details on that game.
well, back to what you're saying about like neutral kind of being the main ending in Strange Journey. It's basically just we got rid of the Schwartzwell, yay. Okay, as I was saying, back to what you were saying about Strange Journey's neutral ending. You didn't really do much in the neutral ending. It was just we defeated the Schwartzwell, yay.
Yeah, and the thing is, they walk the Schwarzbelt, and they're just like all they ask themselves. I remember one of the members, the crew, even asks, did we do the right thing? And it's like, I mean, I get that's the general, gist of what neutral's about. You sided with no sides, and you just wanted to bank on yourself, and in return it might not be the best choice, but at the same time they tried to put hope into it, and it's like that's kind of not really that good. Like it wasn't like the law ending actually pats you on the back. The chaos ending was hilarious. So there's your reward there. Neutral just gave you no reward, and then you don't really unlock bosses for boss rush mode either.
Right.
For the neutral ending, it's like there wasn't much of a reward to playing the neutral route. So I'm hoping Redux does something else with the neutral ending, and if I'm hoping like the new path is just, I don't know, something of like an extension of the neutral ending, and if it's hoping it's just something else, like something new altogether, because the alignments are going stale. And this is evidence of, even for Apocalypse, they kind of made fun of the alignments actually, which is pretty hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, Strange Journey's neutral ending is nowhere near as bad as SMT4's neutral ending. But
oh my god.
What I'm hoping they'll do is, for the neutral ending, like if they decide to continue that in Strange Journey, I'm hoping it's like you and your squad going around fighting demons that are still on Earth, because in Strange Journey's story, they tell you like when you talk to the people on Earth, they tell you that there are demons on Earth. So
Yeah,
so you'll be going
like
around
they
fighting
tell
them.
you that would, that just hit me. That could be what the new path is.
Yeah.
Like, now we still don't know who Alex is.
Right.
I mean, did she travel back in time? Is she from like a mysterious squad on Earth who's fighting demons right now? We don't know too much details, and that would actually be a pretty cool route if they did that. Like, and instead of like, it just be demons, gods are emerging
Right.
and possibly trying to bring back their golden age era.
Yeah, but it could also be you addressing some of the things that led to the Schwarzwelt forming, like pollution, for example.
Yeah, and the gods are pissed.
Yeah. So
I mean, I read. I don't know if it was like a serious thing to note, but like back when like they announced, they had like a translation with his dialogue saying something about there's no hope for the current era of humanity. Therefore, we must take charge. So I'm thinking they might be recreating humanity. That would be interesting.
right.
There's just so much they could do, like, because Strange Journey had a good plot, and from what I know, they don't really have novels for it or even a manga. So
I think
we don't have too much
It has a
lore
drama
on it.
CD.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just, for the game itself. So
Right.
they probably don't give too much other details of, like, the plot or the lore. Because it has really good lore. Like, it's just they don't really want to focus on it. Like, it's just kind of an after. And to be honest, if, the way Apocalypse turned out, which fantastic, and it was just kind of it was a fun game, don't get me wrong, and Dogda was great. Some of the characters were great, like what's his name, Hallelujah. They were interesting, but overall the game was just biased towards the peace and anarchy routes, and it was like, here we thought we were going to get more lore on SMT as a whole, but all it was that Dogda was just pissed off. That's what the game was about. It's like, ooh, you get to fight Yahweh after so many years. Like, we didn't fight Yahweh since, what, SMT2? SMT3, aka Nocturne, does not count.
Yeah, it's I don't know why so many people compare Kagutsuchi to Yahweh.
Because, well, the thing is, it's because people speculated that they wanted it to be Yahweh, but they just slapped Kagutsuchi as the name, which, if you look at Nocturne's lore, Yahweh has nothing to do with the Vortex world.
Right.
He has nothing to do with. I mean,
as far
they
as
mentioned
we
the Great
know,
Will.
as far as we know, Yahweh died in the conception.
Or became weakened.
Yeah.
Well,
because the thing is, the angels choose to side with Chiaki in Nocturne, which Chiaki she's basically chaos.
She becomes Baal's host, which Baal is Beelzebub. So, yeah. Well, I mean, not in Nocturne, but like usually in SMT lore, which stems from the Bible, Baal and Beelzebub are synonymous. Now, Beelzebub was an optional boss if you want to go the true demon route. But, yeah, point being, the angels sided with a pagan deity, which this pagan deity is chaos aligned. So, yeah, Nocturne's whole thing was like a little wonky, but that was pretty interesting too. But yeah, we haven't fought Yahweh in before Apocalypse since SMT2. Which how many years ago was that?
It was 1994, so 23 years.
Yeah. So there you go. Like Apocalypse, I think, was just an excuse to just shoehorn Yahweh in because they mentioned a lot in SMT4, and they actually called him God in SMT4. So yeah, and then they have the two optional parts, like Ancient of Days and what was that chaos thing? It was basically like
Sanat Kumara.
yeah, Sanat Kumara, like whatever he was.
I mean,
or something
like he's not like a demon. He's like a god.
but like he's similar to Ancient of Days or something.
Yeah.
Like it was weird.
Well, I think the reason they made him the way he is was because his name means morning star, which is what Lucifer's name means.
Lucifer.
But
yeah.
Other than that, he has nothing to do with Lucifer.
And they established that in game too, I believe. It was like, what? The thing is, it's like, I was thinking, like, I actually remember back when like Apocalypse was like first announced. I was even like overjoyed. I was like, Ancient of Days and Sanat. Oh my god, we might get lore on them, because they made such a big deal about them in the DLC. Like it was like, oh, maybe this is clues to like SMT5 or another SMT game, something deep, something with deeper meanings with the alignments.
But
we get nothing.
They never appeared in Apocalypse.
No, not even mentioned. It's like what? It's like what? Why? Because we know Ancient of Days straight up tells us that he is an aspect of Yahweh and serves Yahweh and wants to recreate like a new Eden. Whereas Sanat Kumara, I'm just gonna call him Sanat because it's easier. He was like an alien or something, like something out of H.P. Lovecraft. I don't know. I don't even remember what his whole thing was because I remember the Chaos World. What was it called? Infernal Tokyo, I think.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I played SMT4. That whole thing felt like Disgaea. Like, it was basically like dark humor incarnate. So, he kind of was like, I guess he was just supposed to give off that vibe, just some kind of random thing. And they pulled it off well. But it would still be... Huh?
His design's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Him and Ancient of Days. They were both great. But, yeah, I would love to see more of them. Like, or just something... Because, like I said, which I'm hoping they do for Redux. Like, I'm hoping they don't throw the alignments in your face. Now, regardless, they will for, like, the first half of the game. And, you'll still be able to do the standard and things. But I'm hoping, like, the new route kind of tosses the alignments to the side a bit because they're getting very stale. And, games like Devil Survivor 2 have already proven that it's okay to make an SMT game where you make subtle references to the alignments, but not straight up talk about them 24/7. Divide the fan base further, which that's getting stupid as well. Because it's like, well, if you want to talk about law and chaos, well, let's go deeper into meaning. It's like, how about not? We talked about this like a million times, It's like, just pick what you want.
I mean, usually...
Or, just make a game where it's not in your face and it's the same shit talked about all the time. It's like... Because Law just constantly rambles on about how humans have to depend on Yahweh, and Chaos always is all like, no, survival of the fittest.
And then Neutral's
Lucifer
like,
for the win, and then Neutral's like, I don't know.
fuck yeah, humanity. We started the apocalypse.
Neutral's just basically one big, I don't know.
Hey, humanity started the apocalypse. That's something to be proud of. Can Law and Chaos start apocalypses?
It's just basically been all like, for humanity, I don't know.
I mean, that's at least what the neutral fans treat it like.
One thing I'm pissed off at for Apocalypse, actually. Talk about the white. Like, they were a pretty big deal in SMT4. It's like, what happened with that?
Oh yeah.
It's like, why wasn't there a white ending?
I know. It's like, did they even mention the white in Apocalypse?
Issachar? I mean, huh?
Like, did they even mention the white in Apocalypse? I don't remember.
The white are, like, non-existent. Like, the only thing mentioned was the Yamato Perpetual Reactor, which, you know, Lucifer's always gung-ho about.
Yeah, but...
Use it to blow up the world.
But Lucifer has nothing to do with
it. He just wanted to use it for, you know, summoning a endless army of demons all the time, basically.
Yeah.
Nothing about the white, and it's like they were a pretty big deal in, you know, the SMT4. Where are they? Like, why aren't they talked about? Why aren't they, you know, an additional ending?
Right.
It's like, at first, without Dogda was all nihilistic and shit, I'm like, did they become Dogda? I mean, I don't know. Apocalypse, good game, but also a mistake. That's how I feel about it.
All right, so we're kind of running out of time. We're trying to keep these episodes under an hour because I mean a lot of the complaints we've gotten are that it's too long, which is one of the reasons there's just two of us because we want to keep it under an hour. But
yeah.
Anyway, our next and final topic is Catherine Fullbody, which was recently announced shortly before the new year, actually.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the thing is, on Atlus's website, they said something like, we're going to be remaking a popular PS3 game, so I'm like, okay, that's probably going to be Catherine, and yes, it was Catherine. It's coming out on...
Lo and behold!
It's coming out on PS4 and PS Vita, so if you have a Vita but you haven't upgraded to the PS4, you can get it on that.
Which I have a PS4, but I might just get it on Vita instead, because Vita's convenient. So, yeah, and plus, it would be fun to play a puzzle game on Vita. So, yeah, and then that's another game where we have another route that was just kind of shoved in our face. Full body, get it?
Yeah.
Just kind of thrown out there. We have a new character, Rin.
The pink-haired girl that looks like the girl from Lazy Town.
Yeah, and she's already become a meme.
Right.
If you watch the trailer, there's more suggestive things about her that, you know, there's a lot of gray areas to talk about, but we're not going to go there. Just, you know, whoever didn't watch the trailer yet, watch it and just, you know, laugh at Vincent's reaction because Vincent is hilarious. You know, one of my favorite protagonists ever.
Like, he has this really surprised reaction when he looks at Rin's crotch.
Oh, you gave it away.
I mean, I'm sure most of the people listening have already seen it.
Yeah, but I mean, whoever, you know, didn't watch it yet, it's worth watching. Go watch it. It's hilarious.
Right.
The thing about her is, it's like the whole thing about Catherine was, it's like I said before, they're the two girls who are named Catherine. They're subtly based on the alignments of S&P, and here you have Rin, who necessarily neutral, because neutral in like the original Catherine, the vanilla Catherine. Not to spoil too much, but you reject both girls. So we don't know what to expect with this new route, because they already played the game normally with Catherine with a K and Catherine, or you could do the new route with Rin. So we don't know, and we have screenshots of her being in what's the bar called again?
The Stray Sheep.
Yeah, she's in Stray Sheep, and Vincent kind of picks her up, and just like what John mentioned, you know, she shows him his crotch, and he's sweating profusely and freaking out. So,
I mean, well, okay, well, that's the next thing we were going to talk about. It's just theories on what Rin is. Like, a lot of people have been saying she is actually a he, and that the reason Vin is freaking out is because he just fucked a boy.
or is about to.
But, I mean, on December 27th, Atlas released a bunch of new info on Catherine Fullbody, and the way they described her, they said that they kept referring to her as she, so I'm pretty sure it's actually a girl.
Now, what it could be is, since, you know, Catherine kind of goes deep into the whole, you know, nightmare world thing and, like, REM sleep and everything, her vag could be, like, something fucked up looking, or something, like, maybe it looks like a portal or something. Maybe it's not, like, non-existent. Maybe she could be an angel. You know, maybe there's just so many things that we don't know yet. But I guess Atlas already confirmed that Ren is indeed a girl. So yeah.
I mean,
it could be.
She's not a boy. Like,
it could be an eyeball.
I mean, it could be a hermaphrodite.
Could be.
Or however you pronounce it.
Hermaphrodite.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, that could be the case. I mean,
some people have suggested that it's a trans woman, but, I mean, we already have one character like that, which is Erica, who actually
we already
used to be a boy,
Erica.
but then she got surgery and took the transition into becoming a woman. So
yeah,
I don't think,
and it's already mentioned.
I don't think they're going to have more than one character like that.
No, and it's already been mentioned that Erica herself, you know, grew up with Vincent and gang in high school, so
yeah,
they're already close. And yeah, we can't really have another character like that, because it would kind of ruin Erica's character. Erica was an interesting character.
Yeah.
And it would just kind of be like, really? If they made Ren a transvestite, or someone who made the transition to be male to female, or vice versa, you know?
Right.
Basically, from what it seems like, they're gonna do something else paranormal, because I mean, this is Catherine, and the fact that Ren is a root in and of herself. That's why I'm thinking she's either like an angel or an alien or whatever.
Yeah. Well, what I was saying was, I mean, the thing is, Ren, we don't even know if her real name is Ren. That's just what they call her. According to this article, it says that her age and name are unknown.
So, I mean, I think it would have been neat if they would have called her Catherine with a Q, like a lot of people were calling her before, you know, it was announced
Oh yeah,
quote unquote, her name is Rin.
that's what I was calling her.
Yeah, they had several other people, including myself, calling her Catherine with a Q, which I think would have been funny. Like, I think they should have done that, but you know, Rin still kind of fits because Catherine,
Yeah, or they could have just called her Kathy.
Kathy, yeah. But yeah, like we don't know too much about her. We don't even know what her is gonna be like about. Like it could be something else entirely. Like, because the dream world was triggered with by Catherine herself and Dermuzed. So we don't. And actually, now that I think about it, he's in her root. So they're probably gonna do something along the lines like she's like another Mesopotamian goddess or something. Because
Yeah.
that's kind of the focus of Catherine. But at the same time, you know, they didn't give too much gameplay detail of her route itself. We just saw that cutscene and her at Stray Sheep. So there's not even any mention of the two Catherines either. Like it could just be like a small little side story or like a what if scenario.
Well, I think if it was just a small side story, I don't think they would have shown Vincent sleeping with her.
Yeah, because that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Sleeping with her or about to sleep with her. I mean, we don't know the context.
Right.
She could have gotten him dead ass drunk, and you know what would be funny if like they actually did do it, and he was like dead ass drunk and wakes up realizing that she had a strap on or something. That would be great
Yeah, that would.
because we don't see too much. Like the only thing we see closest to her groin area is her pelvic bone, like her hips and everything. Not pelvic bone. What the fuck am I saying? Her hips. We don't see like the actual like her with her pants down. Basically, we just see Vincent and his bushy hair covering her groin.
Yeah.
And again, he's sweating profusely. So
Yeah. But yeah, it looks like we're almost out of time. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
um, not really, but other than that, thanks for having me. Hopefully, we could do this again, and hopefully, the connection doesn't crap out again either.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, if you're wondering why it keeps jumping to me saying as I was saying, that's because the connection kept on disconnecting. So
yeah.
I'm going to have to edit a lot of this out.
Oh, yeah. It's going to take a lot of time. But at least we were able to do this episode on a time schedule, so
Yep.
no interruptions aside from the, bad connection.
Yep. All right. Well, no girls moaning in the background. I honestly have no idea what that is.
I mean, it would have been fitting while we were talking about full body, so.
If I was like watching porn while doing the podcast.
Whenever we get more news of Catherine full body, we should do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I guess you could wrap this up because
right.
I really don't have nothing else to talk about.
All right. Anyways, guys, thank you all for listening, and I hope you have a great 2018. I'm looking forward to doing more episodes this year.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.